It is a beautiful day, everybody. Welcome to League Unlock. Eric and Mark with you guys, and it is beautiful because Worlds continues and the stakes are absolutely raised in week 2 of the group stage because it is elimination day. It's all Group B all day, every team playing minimum 3 matches.
And everybody knows when you get to week 2, this is where the real unexpected stuff happens. Right now, this is where it goes on, where you get these teams dropping out here, being eliminated, not expecting it. Everything wild goes on here in week 2 of the group stage, and getting us started, it is that group of life, Group B.
If you get tilted on this day, you can say bye-bye to your Worlds run because it's a marathon of a day. Things kicked off with Fun Plus going up against GAM eSports and FPX. Last time these two played, you finally saw, okay, this is the first seed of the LPL we were hoping to see. They crushed them in 23 minutes. They're at 2-1. GAM comes in 1-2 coming into this game. And this group very much wide open still for who comes out on top. But you know, Fun Plus finally starting to roll into things a bit. And Do and B says, you know what? Give me the Malphite mid. That's what I want.
Rolling into this one, rolling like a rock. That's Doinby in the mid lane there, looking to put down a beatdown here on GAM. And early on, though, it is GAM, of course, making their trip to the top side.
Yeah, we know Levi and Zeros are best friends. They're always going to be hanging out there. But Crisp, always there at the right spot. He turns that around for a kill himself, but GAM keeps on going. That Nautilus support is going to go down eventually as well, but here comes Qian. It is just a party in the top lane. He's going to run away, and this is the same fight, or later on, it comes back to the top lane. You have Kiea running in on that Kled. It was all about the top lane.
Oh man, it was a top lane party here for Gigabyte Marines in that side here, making sure they get those advantages early on, but still not trading as cleanly as you would like here, providing too much here for the side of FPX.
Crisp again!
And oh boy, here comes that Nautilus.
Yeah, again, a 1v3 that starts on Qian on that Gragas. This was the one that was the same play. There was extended fights.
Look at that turret still alive.
Fight or not. Comes in, they don't even get the turret. That's a bit of a disaster. FPX definitely in favor here. And then after catching out Kiea on that Kled, they push around the Baron, and here comes LWX to go clean up. In a 1v2, Levi gets his Nocturne, but can't do much.
Not gonna happen there. This one all in favor of FPX, but it is the side of Gigabyte Marines trying to make the brush attack work here on the unexpected FPX.
But where's the Malphite ulti? He's not in the fight. Everyone's going all in on the support Nautilus. Where is the Malphite? Where is Do and B? Oh! We found him. 3-man ulti from the Malphite, and that guy was so disgustingly tanky. There were a few engages that the Marines tried to get onto that Malphite, and
not happening.
That's his purpose in this game, is to soak up damage. He went full tank. The counter to Kled in the mid lane absolutely pays off. Fun Plus do it again. They completely destroy GAM.
Even had Doinby on this Malphite, spending 20 to 30 seconds trying to figure out what skill to level up here. This is a guy.
There's a case for all 3 to level up first.
And hey, you got to realize here, this is not the first time he's playing Malphite. He has played Malphite before in his life, but this is certainly a situation
Not
where...
a hard champion to learn.
Absolutely not either, but this does seem to be a situation in a pro stage here and at Worlds where he is just testing the limits of this champion, figuring out that what he needed here. And hey, delivered a pretty darn good Malphite performance here, but I think that FPX would have been fine without that Malphite difference here. They certainly were able to weather the storm from Gigabyte Marines and come out on top.
Yeah, the GAM eSports forgot about the Malphite, didn't put any respect on it in that game-winning fight. Fun Plus moved to 3-1. GAM go to 1-3. Second match of the day was Splice versus J-Team. J-Team, we're sitting tied for first coming into this one at 2-1. Splice 1-2, got a lot of work ahead of them, but we do know that EU in week 2 is the complete opposite of NA in week 2. It's actually good.
Yeah, they get the week 2 buff here, looking to take it on here against this J-Team squad. And hey, you got here, I wanted to see this week from Splice specifically is big performances from Humanoid and Chachi holding his own in the top lane. And let's see how he holds on here.
Yeah, Chachi on the Gnar against the Kled matchup for rest. And this is level 1, ladies and gentlemen. We are going deep into the opposing team's jungler. And you know what's fun? To blind flash, not even get the bear trap on a rope. You know that the Kled is not going to have time to remount here. That is a gross overestimation by Rest, who goes down to first blood, and that really got things rolling in favor of Splice.
Splice takes a nice early advantage off that one. Xerxes says, thank you very much for that one. Feeling good on the Gragas, and they are able to repel this engage here coming in from the J-Team squad as Chachi gets that teleport in and he's looking to get Mega Knock.
Yeah, and really, it's just a little bit of disrespect. Fofo, he walks right up with no Kale ulti. Chachi just slams him into the wall, completely turns the fight over in the favor of Splice. Rest just does get a trade kill there onto Humanoid, but Splice had the health advantage. They would get some more objectives. It's another flash in for Chachi, but he dies instantly.
This one, not so pretty there from Chachi. There didn't really have the rest of the squad to back him up for that one.
It should be good for J-Team. You just disengage now, right? No, they're thirsty for more, and Norskaren completely denies Hana, not one, but twice. He can't get anything onto Humanoid, who heavily criticized after the first couple of days for Splice. He looked much better here on the Cassiopeia against J-Team. And here's another nice slam mid-air wombo combo there for Chachi. This is in the base. Kabe dives deep. That is going to be a cleanup for Splice.
That's got to be feeling good here for the Splice squad. The Snake looking pretty strong to start off this day. And oh boy, we get those EU week 2 feelings going on early in this one. Splice managing to even things up against J-Team, now both at 2-2.
Yeah, and very much still alive to get out of this group as the second seed, or maybe even the first seed, but yeah, they go 2-2. Third game, J-Team is right back on the Rift against GAM eSports, who are playing for their tournament lives. They lose, you are eliminated. You get the Zeros Akali with Levi's Lee Sin, and early on, Fofo, nothing you can do there. The Q doesn't even get landed for the execute because Levi doesn't need it.
And again, it is Gigabyte getting that early advantage here for themselves. Gotta love that early game, but we're still waiting here because
Renekton's a good laning champ.
Yes, we're still in the early game, but there's a couple mistakes happening here.
He's like a really good laning champ. Like the 1v2 didn't work, so the 1v3 should. Oh no.
Oh, wait a minute.
He has his ulti, he pops it early, and Gam still decides, you know what, let's dive him anyways. It doesn't work out for them. He turns a 1v2 and then a 1v3 around, but they're not done. They keep diving for this guy.
The difference is you need the volley bear. That's what it was, see?
Yeah, we didn't even talk about the volley bear pick as a support. He does get the kill here, but here comes the rest of J-Team, and that volley bear pick was, I'm gonna call it interesting. An interesting pick in the bottom.
It certainly was one that I think that Giga Marines had maybe been practicing before, and we have seen volley bear support work out previously.
That was a few patches ago.
But yeah, that is not the case right now, and certainly not at this point. And hey, at this point of the day here, needing the type of victories that you need, this was not what it was called for.
But even with some of those rough early dives, they were very much in this game. They had the gold deficit, but around the Baron pit is where we've seen things go horribly awry in Group B. And this time it is Gam who suffers defeat in the pit. And look at that, it's down to about 2,000 health. Sweet, we'll clean that up with the pretty much clean ace, 15-9 now in kills. And that was pretty much all the advantage J-Team needed. Rest was even BMing a little bit, spamming the recall in base.
I think that this is exactly what J-Team needed, this type of performance here against a Gigabyte squad that, you know, again, a lot of people had different expectations for them all the way from the very top of this group all the way to the very bottom. Looks like we are seeing that very bottom level tier performance come through, unfortunately, from that side, but it is J-Team getting a nice win under their belt and keeping pace here with Splice, with FPX to make sure that this is still going to be a competitive group to see who gets out.
Yeah, and with that, GAM eliminated. They will not be going to quarterfinals. Overall, very disappointing performance from them. I know a lot of people, myself included, were expecting them to finish second or at the very least be vying for a round in the knockouts. You just never saw the same level of Zeros and Levi that we saw in Vietnam.
I saw them picking up that early advantage many times in this group here, but too many times mistakes happen in the mid game that would falter, stall the game out, and the squads here, Splice, J-Team, FPX, too good at capitalizing on those mistakes here, getting their advantages, flipping the script in the game, and it was not the case here for GAM to get out of groups.
They still have one more game and can play spoiler, but no knockouts for Vietnam. And coming up after the break, we're just warming up here today. Fun plus Phoenix looking to lock a spot in the quarterfinals. They still got 2 more games to go through on the day. What is up, down, and sideways, everybody? We are back on League Unlock. Eric and Mark here with you guys, continuing looking at the action from Group B Elimination Day, and 3 games deep, still very much up in the air who's going to be coming out of these groups. Obviously, Fun Plus, it wasn't the question of will they get out of this group, it's will they do it undefeated, and obviously not the case. Overall, been underwhelmed by them, but really their only 2 dominant wins to this point were against the Marines.
It's been very surprising so far from this FPX squad. And not surprising in the sense of, hey, we usually expect the first seed from China to kind of disappoint sometimes. But this time it really is all about, wow, what are they? Are they a really good team? Are they really not a good team here? What is the indication here? Because I tell you what, from Summer, incredibly consistent and incredibly strong. We have not seen that Summer FPX so far here at Worlds.
They got a chance to make a big statement against Splice and lock up a spot in the quarterfinals in the 4th match of the day. A win puts them at 4 wins, which 2 other teams could not match if they get the win against Splice. Malphite mid in the last game for Doin B. Who's he going to pick against Humanoid, who looked much better against J-Team? This time he rolls with the Galio in the mid lane.
This is one that I understand in solo queue, and I know that his power is back, but I tell you what's not back. The flash taunt move is not back, and I tell you what here, spoiler alerts, you're going to be missing that one if you're an FPX fan.
We also got Chachi on the Cho'Gath in this one. We've seen him pick that a few times throughout Worlds. A lot of bans went the way of Xerxes here. He ends up falling onto the Rek'Sai, which is still a comfortable pick for him. And check out Kabe here with the sick flash root, and then Zhonya's right away. He barely goes down, but LWX is very much in enemy territory here. And by the way, on the top side, it's more kills going over to Splice. Ends up being a 4-for-1 double over to the Cho'Gath.
This is the nightmare for the FPX squad here. It is the Cho'Gath getting insanely fed. They think they caught him out right here, but man, that's like over 8,000 health that you're trying to deal with here with some of those items on the Cho'Gath, eventually getting him down. But man, you've bought so much time here for the rest of Splice. Humanoid getting some insane damage down on LWX. Doesn't take him down, but man, sets up the pins here, ready for Kabe and the rest of the crew to knock him down.
Yeah, Xerxes lands the Void Seeker or Prey Seeker and gets a double kill to clean up. That's 4 more kills over to Splice. That would lead to a Baron for them. And that is an example of the Galio not being able to flash. With the taunt, Kabe's able to just pop out of it. He does go down again. LWX sacrificing his own life to kill the opposite AD carry. But yet again, 4 kills over to Splice. There would be a base defense from Fun Plus to keep the game alive, but now with just their Nexus exposed, all these inhibs down. Look at that Cho'Gath, man. He had 5,000 health without Gargoyle Stoneplate. That's disgusting.
It's insane, man, what this Cho'Gath was doing out there. Straight up Godzilla style here. Getting massive and being that king out there on the Rift. And it is Splice taking down the best here from the LPL. FPX falling here to this one. I don't think, even if Galio has that flash taunt in that fight there, I don't think it's enough of a difference maker. Splice just managed to be better on the day than the FPX squad here and managed to secure themselves a huge upset win.
Yeah, and you can say FPX underperformed in that game, but hey man, full credit to Splice. They just completely outplayed and neutralized Fun Plus Phoenix. They figured out what to do in the mid game, and they figured out how to do it to a T. Now both these squads tied at 3-2, and first place, very much a possibility here for EU's 3rd seed.
On the line, Splice looking to get it. Had some big performances here from Humanoid, from Vizichachi, and of course I've got to give my shout out to my boy in the bottom side, Norskarin. He's had a rough Worlds, but man, this has been a strong day for him and has had some good play here from the support role.
Not much time to celebrate for Splice. They were very next on the Rift, matching up opposite of GAM eSports, and we know the history of EU in games that you fully expect them to win and need to get out of knockouts. A win here for Splice, and they are guaranteed a top 8 finish. They'd be playing a tiebreaker for first. They're guaranteed a tiebreaker at worst here, either for first or second, but a win, and they could be playing for that first spot, which means GAM playing for absolutely nothing. You know, they got upset written all over it here. Humanoid gets the rise, a Kiana for Xerxes, something we have seen him dominate on, and Jinx for Kabe. That's a rare pick.
That is it, and early on, it is them looking for the picks here in the bottom side to even things up against the Gigabyte Marines. Well, you can't really even it up because it was a huge advantage earlier on from Zeros and Levi in that top side.
There's a lot of fighting going on top side as well, and the early game, Zeros and Levi were dominating. That's what we've been waiting to see from them. This Fiora against the Gangplank was getting so out of control that it was absolutely terrifying. That's a Rift Herald.
That's the exact opposite of what we've been seeing him on the Cho'Gath.
Yeah, the Gangplank is not quite as tanky, and it's Group B, Mark. Everything comes down to the Baron, and Zin, he's left alone in the Baron pit.
Oh, man.
Splice, they take a lesson from what happened to them against their first match against Fun Plus Phoenix. The Marines, they had no idea what to do post 20 minutes. A dominant early game. They completely throw at Baron, and then they try and catch out Kabe. After Zeros basically ran it down in the top lane first. A lot more kills over.
That's 100% your solo queue games. That's where you got to FF. That's 100% the chance where you realize, look, we've got our most fed members here trying to dive in on the guy that we need to kill the damage off of. And oh boy, we can't kill their squishy in the one go. GG, this one is going to be all wrapped up.
And then this time it's Humanoid split pushing, who, by the way, was disgustingly fed and single-handedly.
Okay, that's a dead Fiora.
He didn't even get below half in that 1v1. He was single-handedly keeping Splice in this game. Just stop the ports, boys. That's exactly what they do. Nobody is heading back in the fountain. They just pick them off one by one. Humanoid, the lone rise there, ends the game.
Lone Ranger, baby.
3 wins in a row for Splice here to sit at 4-2. They will play a tiebreaker for first place.
Week 2 EU never disappoints here. This was a phenomenal job here from the Splice squad. To think that they would come in here and get a 3-0 to start out this day is unthinkable here for, I think, even the most diehard of EU and Splice fans. They absolutely deserve this credit. Major stepping up here from almost every single member on this squad to bring that performance home.
And you saw that Humanoid, after coming into this day, had some of the worst stats among all the mid laners at the tournament. He has completely swapped the narrative here in his last 3 games, showing up in a huge way. He was the MVP of that game for sure, and now Splice awaits the winners of the other match for their tiebreaker. And coming up after the break, it is those other matches. J-Team versus Fun Plus. Winner plays a tiebreaker for first. Loser, see ya, not even making it to the top. What is up, all you fine ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to League Unlock. Eric and Mark here with you guys. 2 games to go in Group B action, and Splice already locked in to that tiebreaker for first place. Nobody would have thought that Splice would be the team potentially getting first place out of all the 3 EU teams, and lucky for them, they got to go first.
What's even crazier is they could be waiting here in for that final spot. Could be either FPX or J-Team here meeting up with Splice for that tiebreaker.
If J-Team and Splice get out of Group B, everybody is frothing at the mouth to draw anyone from Group B when it comes to knockouts. But Fun Plus, one last chance to prove why they were the first seed from China and why they were one of the 3 overall favorites to win the entire event. It is put up or shut up. Winner goes home, or winner advances and plays Splice in a tiebreaker. Loser goes home between Fun Plus and J-Team, and we get Doin B on a pick that he has absolutely dominated on throughout the LPL. It is Rise and Varus Tom Kench bot lane. Been a while since we've seen that.
Been a while since we've seen that, but oh boy, it is going to be a while before you see a team pick up the early advantages that you see FPX pick up in this one, because it is going to be all over here. As soon as you see a Tom Kench willing to flash devour, that you know this one's going to be GG.
Yeah, and I mean, it was all bot lane early on. Tien gets the Elise, another pick that is usually terrifying for him. That dive, First Blood, goes quite well, and then, Lil V just gets absolutely popped. This Varus in the bottom lane, at 9 minutes, he had a Blade of the Rune King done. Is that good?
That is some good ADC work going on over there. That is quite the advantage in your pocket, and it is still the advantage here for FPX, even losing Tien early in this fight.
Yeah, and then it's the rest of the crew that shows up. Gimgoon TP's in on the Renekton, who, by the way, had a sizable lane lead just by himself. The early game, this is the Fun Plus Phoenix that's from the LPL that only lost 4 games. They had a 7,000 gold lead at 15 minutes. That's pretty good. And I mean, the fights afterwards were exactly what you would expect. There was one in the Baron pit, one around the Dragon, and Fun Plus was just so incredibly far ahead. They had no chance losing those team fights.
They set a record here for the gold differential between these two teams. It was over 21,000 K here. That is how big.
Just to say that again, 21,000!
That is one rich FPX squad here farming out this map here, taking control and putting a stomp here to the end of J-Team's run here at Worlds. Definitely did better than a lot of people would have expected out of the LMS. I think Fofo had a strong performance individually, but just not enough when it mattered here. And FPX, you can take a sigh of relief here, your boys. You made it through, and you're gonna get here into that next stage of the knockout, but you gotta fight here against Splice for that first spot.
Yeah, Fun Plus avoids 2015 LGD levels of disaster. The first seed of China will not be exiting in the group stage. They will finish top 8, and because they beat J-Team in very fast fashion, 23 minutes, they get side selection in that tiebreaker against Splice, and I don't know if they necessarily shut up the haters for them, but definitely when you're talking about momentum, they fully got it going into the tiebreaker.
There's a big win here for the FPX squad into that tiebreaker, especially the fashion that they were able to win, how controlling they were in that performance here, and especially thinking about the composition that they were able to draft for themselves. Felt much more like comfort, much more like the picks that we saw in the summer, and something here that maybe they're going to bring into that match against Splice.
Yeah, and for Group B, it's been full of upsets and surprises, and it was no different when it comes to a tiebreaker because Splice and Fun Plus absolutely delivered on the Spice level.
8,000 HP left on it. Splice going to try and fight it, but already the Baron has fallen. You have to feel Tian gets it. Chachi now on the front line. Crispal has fallen. Splice, you got to take the fight. You got to make your moment happen. Humanoid jumps in. Tian goes gold, and Gimgoon has the flank position. Tian will pay for the Baron with his life.
I don't think Chachi's getting out of this one.
We will see. He hasn't got the flash. The cannon barrage is coming down, but I believe you might be right there, chat. Chachi falls in a side lane, but Splice may be looking for the fight here as Kobe jumps in. Crisp goes golden. North Scaring going in with the quickness, with the charm, and Crisp has fallen. The shutdown goes to Xerxes. They're trying to get Tian on the back alive, but already Doinby's taken 2. And meanwhile in the top lane, Gimgoon is just pushing in to the inhibitors. Doinby gets another. Kobe can't take him out. LWX will fall in the end, but 3 kills go to Doinby in a 4v5, and FPX are looking at the Nexus. Of course, both these teams already. Oh, no, Scarin's going to go in. The Cocoon's landed onto Tian. There's the charm as well. He's dead. Tian, the jungler, down. And now Splice have an opportunity, but Chachi has been caught out by Gimgoon. Gimgoon still has his flash. How's the roam up? Looking for the chase. Teleport coming in. And they're going to try and join the fight. Here's the TP. I believe it's Humanoid joining his teammate. The cannon barrage comes down, and Gimgoon flashes away. The unleashed power is going to chase him. He goes golden, but he's not going to live for too much longer. Splice find 2 kills. Chachi's trying to come across to join the team. Doinby stepping forward. Lands the stun on North Scaring. He tries to jump away. There's the charm as well. But already Xerxes dead. That's 2. They get Crisp, but the chase is on. LWX jumping onto Humanoid, who goes gold, and Kobe pops his stopwatch as well. But you have to feel this is it. Fly, Phoenix, fly. They clean up the fight in the jungle. Splice get wiped away, and there's nothing Chachi can do.
This is super carry Doinby taking first in groups.
Fun Plus Phoenix rise from the ashes and lock their spot as first in Group B.
You still want, if you're from any of the other groups, you're happy drawing Fun Plus.
The target
or
is painted
Splice.
on your back, for sure.
Definitely the weakest of the groups, as we've seen from the group stage. But that's it today for League on Lock. Eric and Mark here with you guys. Thanks for hanging out as always, and we'll catch you on the flippity flop.